Veterans re-entering civilian life face many challenges, including finding a job. Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Welcome to this edition of Military Makeover Operation Career. Today, we have 4 inspirational stories of former servicemen and women who have reinvented themselves and are thriving at companies who value their unique skills. America's military veterans are some of the highest skilled, most sought-after employees you'll find anywhere, and are making great inroads, especially within the transportation industry. We discovered one big city transit company offering job opportunities to veterans as big as the state of Texas itself.
Here at DART, we run one of the longest light rail systems in the country at 93 miles. We also run 570 buses in 13 cities across a 700 square mile service area. Last year, we carried 43 million passengers on our service.
Maintenance training instructor Adam A.J. Jefferson has enjoyed over 3 decades at DART, a job his naval service prepared him well for.
I joined the military back in 1980. And when I came here to DART was in 1990, and I've been here ever since. But I started here as a bus mechanic from the military. What helped me here was my training in the military to be an instructor. So my goal and focus when I got here was to eventually get into the training department. I've been a trainer since 1998. All of the maintenance new hires have to come through my department to get trained to go to their respective divisions. So it has worked out really well, the transition. It's been very exciting for me to go from military to DART because of the similarities of the way upgrade process works, pay scale, all of this. It's a lot of similarities that really piqued my interest and kept me here all these years.
I love being a Marine. I love being in transportation.
Marine Corps vet Margarita Cienfuegos loved military service, bringing that same enthusiasm to her nearly 20-year career at Dallas Area Rapid Transit, locally known as DART.
My plan 3 years before graduating high school was to join the Marine Corps. Just seeing how what we do contributes to the community, and the same way that DART contributes to the community, getting people moving. I felt like I'm still contributing, I'm still serving our people.
So we're here in the old Monroe Shops, which is the old streetcar maintenance facility for the Dallas Transit System. It was a building that was built in 1914. DART picked up this building in 2011, and we renovated it to house our police headquarters. And this is where our police chief, Charlie Cato, has his office.
In the DART Police Department, Dallas Area Rapid Transit, we have our own police department, full-fledged police department. You can come here and experience the camaraderie, the team building, the training environment. You can ride motorcycles, be a patrol officer, be a detective. We have all kinds of opportunities for sworn and non-sworn employees, male and female, and we encourage military veterans to come and apply.
So here at DART, we have about 3,700 employees. About 800 of those are actually veterans, which is really exciting for us to be part of this military makeover, because we think that the military background and all the things that people learned through their military service are directly transferable into the jobs that we have here at DART. At DART, we cover pretty much every single function and skill set that you could possibly imagine that you would certainly gain in your military career. So it's everything from being a bus mechanic all the way up to being a general counsel. Practically every department has at least one, if not more, veterans within their ranks.
It's nice to discover other veterans that are also here, and you can relate to them and they can kind of show you the way as well. People who understand where you're coming from. The benefits are fabulous. The ability to get to work without having to pay for transportation. As a DART employee, it's free.
The reason why I think this is a great place for the military is job security, because just about every place that I've gone to in the nation, every major city, has transit or transportation. It's great to be here. I've got 2 kids through college with this pay that I receive here.
We have a need for everyone who wants to be a part of our team, especially for folks who have secondary language skills like Spanish or Vietnamese.
And this is just an awesome place to work. It really is.
Welcome back. The U.S. exports hundreds of billions of dollars in goods throughout the world, and most travel by ship. Companies like Colonna Shipyard are staffing up with veterans to meet this ever-growing challenge.
The movement of goods and products around our planet is vital to our nation's security and well-being. It's a massive undertaking.
Colonna's is a ship repair operation that's based in Norfolk, Virginia, that does maintenance and modernization for a variety of customers. And that includes the U.S. Navy, the Coast Guard, the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, and a wide variety of commercial outfits.
Right now, in our number 3 dry dock, we've got a shipping port, which is actually a submarine dry dock, which is getting repaired. The dry dock that they use to repair submarines. We also have some fast vessels that are used by the SEAL teams that are interesting.
As complex as these operations are, they began from much more humble beginnings.
In 1875, my great-great-grandfather got a $2,000 loan from his brother, bought a farm right across the river from downtown Norfolk, and we hauled wooden sailing vessels out of the water and repaired those. Since then, a lot's changed.
A lot may have changed, but not the core values of Colonna. For these veterans, mission focus remains priority 1.
The work that we do at Colonna Shipyard is important because we do complete repair work for the mission criticalness of all of Navy vessels that they have. So if we don't complete whatever they contract us to repair for them, it could be the make or break whether they can go out and do their deployments to continue to defend this country.
And if we're not able to maintain the vessels, then we're going to directly affect the operational readiness of the units that we're supporting.
You might be building a piece of steel that has to be within a fraction of an inch tolerance. But where does that piece of steel go? It goes onto a battleship, and it's helping support thousands of people who are maintaining democracy for the world. And that's huge.
It makes me feel really good to be a Navy veteran and to get out and still be able to support that mission. It gives me a fulfillment that I'm continuing to serve my country.
So Jessica Dorsey is instrumental on the quality side for us, making sure all the inspection requirements are being carried out day to day.
Randall Crutchfield, he's been one of my biggest supporters. To have support that far up in the chain of command of things, I never thought that I would have that opportunity.
James Boomer has been the consummate professional since we hired him. He's managing tens of millions of dollars in equipment buys annually. He's managing tens of millions of dollars in subcontracts annually. And the way that he approaches process and personnel and blends those two has been extremely beneficial for us.
I went to the Naval Academy in 1992, straight out of high school. I applied to all the service academies. I got accepted at West Point and the Naval Academy. Chose to go to the Naval Academy because I enjoy the Navy more than marching around. And then to Jacksonville, Florida, which is where I trained to fly F-18s.
So I joined the Navy when I was 19. From there, I went to Meridian, Mississippi. I learned to be a logistics specialist there. Straight from there, I went on deployment with the U.S. Harry Truman.
What Colonna provides prospective veterans is the chance to continue serving the country and continue serving diplomacy worldwide.
Colonna Shipyard doesn't care what your background is, doesn't care what your race, color, creed is. They just care about how well can you contribute to what we're trying to do here in repairing vessels and supporting our DoD.
Come to Colonna Shipyard. That sense of purpose is here. You just gotta find it, and Colonna's will help you find it.
Colonna's Shipyard, bridging from the past to the future.
They deliver the goods that we all use each and every day. However, the trucking industry is often overlooked as a critical component in our economy. Today, we're visiting Werner Enterprises, one of the country's biggest trucking companies. They see our military veterans as the driving force behind their ability to keep America moving.
Werner Enterprises is a publicly traded company that delivers truckload and logistics services throughout the United States, Mexico, and Canada. I'm Jaffe Roski, I am the Senior Manager of Military Programs at Werner Enterprises. I served in the United States Air Force for 9 years. I joined the military to travel the world, have some experience under my belt.
Part of me joining the service was my grandfather. He was the biggest influence that I had. He would tell me stories about his adventures around the world, and I wanted to have similar adventures. I'm A.J. Pelham. I'm a professional driver here at Werner Enterprises, 16-year Marine Corps veteran.
Defending the United States, it's an honor. And having people, my shipmates on the ship with me and people in the squadron, they have my back as I have theirs. I'm Emmanuel Carr, a field recruiter at Werner Enterprises. My Navy career spanned 20 years, and in that 20-year time frame, I worked on approximately 7 different aircraft. Now on the flight deck, it's controlled chaos. It's a lot going on at one time, but everybody knows what they're supposed to do. We went overseas and spent time in country. It was serious, it was eye-opener. See things that you don't want to see, but I always thought that the safest spot was on the boat.
Being in a combat zone puts mental strain on you.
When things don't go smoothly and you do make contact with the enemy, we have to gain control of the situation as quickly as possible by gaining superior firepower.
My last deployment for a highly sensitive mission, we weren't told why. We were debriefed. We were told that it was the mission that captured and killed Osama bin Laden.
When I got out of the military, it was confusing because I didn't know what I was going to do.
The camaraderie and the support system that existed becomes very distant, and it's hard to find again in the civilian sector.
My transition from the military life to the civilian life was not easy.
You are used to one type of structure for so many years. But now you're out and you're questioning, hey, what am I going to do? How am I going to survive?
But as you transition out, please remember that you are starting over again, and find what works for you and makes you happy and takes care of your family in the process. I realized that my purpose here at Werner will be to develop new professional drivers. That's what really took my career to the next level, is becoming a leader here.
I connected with Werner Enterprises, and they gave me an opportunity to come into the transportation industry.
Werner does give you a choice from day one. You can start a path that's best for yourself, and then if there are any avenues that happen that your path changes, Werner is sit there to support you in the change you'd like to have. It's rewarding because I have the opportunity to help somebody make the decision to start their career at Werner and to show them that it is something that's going to be rewarding to you.
Werner is a company that definitely supports veterans, and we do try to hire as many as we can.
We have 3 apprenticeship programs, one for truck drivers, diesel mechanics, and transportation managers.
Operation Freedom is a great program that promotes Werner's support for veterans and their families. You get the opportunity to go to various schools and events representing not just the company, but yourself as a veteran and the families that go with the veterans.
Remember, Everyone Deployed, or RED, is a nonprofit organization that Werner supports.
We typically wear our shirts on Fridays to remember those folks that can't be home with their families. This is our way of saying, don't forget, we still got folks out there doing business.
I'm extremely proud of those. I have been managing this program for several years now. We've received the Freedom Award, which is the highest Department of Defense award that any company can receive.
I don't see myself anywhere else. Werner has become my new family. At the end of the day, I'm not going to leave here. I'm going to retire here.
From geospatial navigation to unmanned platforms, WR Systems is a leader in engineering and support solutions. An important part of their workforce is transitioning veterans. Not only do they find a rewarding career, but also a chance to continue to help those protecting our homeland.
WR Systems is a defense contractor supporting Department of Defense, 2 divisions, the Engineering Services Division, which I'm a part of, and we deal primarily supporting the Navy's navigation and positioning, navigation and timing, which is an important part of the tactical mission of a ship and a submarine. Our ships need to be able to execute a mission when they're deployed. If you don't know where you are, if you're not communicating with the GPS, if your inertial systems aren't working, the ship doesn't really know where it is and cannot faithfully execute the mission it's been assigned. My name is John Pyron. I'm a corporate vice president here at WR Systems with responsibility for business development, strategy, and all of our programs. I've been here since 2010. I retired out of the Navy at the end of September 2002 as an active reservist, retired at the rank of captain. I was in the Navy 24.5 years, did several tours, active duty, mostly the cruisers and destroyers.
I am Kelly Bosey. I am a retired Navy commander, surface warfare officer. My role here at WR Systems is a program manager. I loved my time in the Navy, mostly the people that you serve with. You don't find that kind of camaraderie in very many places.
Well, I had a strong sense to serve, and I also had a smidgen of wisdom to say at 22, I probably won't know what I want to do. I want to go to where I can learn leadership, learn engineering, learn competence, feel like I'm contributing to something bigger than myself, and I accomplished all those things.
My name is Dante Jones. I work here at WR Systems. I'm a project manager. The first time I steered the ship, I was 18 years old. 2 months into going on board the USS Comte de Grace. It's a lot at stake, especially when you're in, waters where you know that there are oppositions out there driving this huge metal ship.
My job is to drive ships, execute the missions, understand where the ship was supposed to be as part of a task force, or all the way down to independent steaming. We always had a job to do, and we went to sea and executed the mission and led teams of people to achieve at the highest levels on a daily basis.
I was a ship driver in the Navy. If you're not where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there, then other people's lives are in jeopardy. It can be stressful making that leap from being in the military where everything's structured, everything is very defined, to being in the civilian world where you have to decide what am I gonna wear, who am I gonna see, who am I gonna engage with, what's my role.
When you're transitioning, you never know what'll happen. I would say plan on what you want to do. The biggest thing is contracting. Military DoD contracting is the best transition for any Navy, Army, Air Force personnel going over to the civilian life.
That should work at WR Systems because they find an environment here that's very conducive and positive to people who are from a military background. There's a great deal of value we and you can provide, and there's companies like us out there that want you to come to work with us.
One of the most gratifying things about working for WR Systems is when the things you build protects lives.
WR Systems is a great landing place, especially for new veterans, because the culture is very comfortable, the missions are very clear, and our integrity is the most important thing, doing the right things the right way.
The teamwork that we had in the Navy is the same teamwork that we have here. We're all working towards a common goal. And that family that you build in the Navy is the family you build here at WR Systems.
Great to see that after sacrificing so much in their military service, today's veterans have found careers where they've been able to shine. I'm Montel Williams. Thanks so much for joining us on this episode of Military Makeover Operation Career. We'll see you next time.